Let's go. All right. Here's the deal, folks. Monday, we have early low. Tuesday, we have early high with a possible rally. I'll get to that in a second. Wednesday, early high. Thursday, early low. Friday, early high. So, that Tuesday reading of a possible rally most likely has to do with this. Okay? So now, let's go look here. Let me show you what we got going on. First of all, unless some bad stuff happens, we are not going to be going to that collar bottom. Not yet. Okay. So we're going to start here. We got 1 full week, 2 full weeks. 2 full weeks left. All right. And then that is obviously a weird week as well as this. And these are going to be your so-called low volume fuckery weeks where you can catch some nice day trades. But let's focus on some swings here, because I think there's 2 spots for this Santa rally that is underway, kind of, right? Let's take a look here. Now, starting off with everything, let me just go back to these charts here. This chart has served us so well this week. We called it that whole thing, and we're about here, right? The same thing here. Beautiful, beautiful chart. We're about there, right? So what we're looking for is this dip here, since we're coming in soon on mid-December here. Not yet, but soon, right? We're somewhere over here. So all of these seasonal charts are showing the same dip. Now with these dips, I'd be a little cautious thinking that we get a huge dip here. And the reason is the sentiment, and also here's the grid. You don't have to be a genius to see that this is kind of a inverted head and shoulders, but it's one of those W's with a double bottom before a face ripper. That's a FOMC right there. That doesn't mean this needs to pan out, but this is kind of a good blueprint to go by. Okay, and as you can see here, there's a possibility of a nice move here midweek. So Friday, what happened? Well, a lot of premium burn. What does that indicate? If you take out Tesla, maybe QQQ, all the big boys, I mean, there was some real, let's use a fancy word, divergence, okay? Let's use a fancy word, divergence. So, you are huffing fucking paint up here, as you can see. Every time we've done this on the stove, we've come down, all right? Even when we weren't rocking the Bollinger Band here. However, kind of different setup, right? However, I would, even though everybody is bullish in Santa this and Santa that, there's one thing that nobody's talking about that needs to happen in order for there to be a nice rally, unless the plan is to do a Trump election gap type of thing and just to absolutely send this. And that is this RSI here on the daily. Okay, if you look, we have in the past gone way higher, all the way to 80. We are currently at 70. So let's take a target of this daily RSI needs to hit 80 before this thing is done. What you want is to either base 4 days, or you are gonna want a sell here. Now obviously if you look here, you got 3 right there. The obvious conclusion here that I want you all to mark out and wait for is this daily 9 to come to the gap. You could have a move like that around Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday. Question is, I have a target right here. Okay, now why is my target there and not gap fill? Because the market is incredibly strong, and you saw what happened last time we had a gap. We came back down under it and fucking right back without filling this so-called Trump gap down here. So, I don't know if we gap fill, but this is kind of my spot where I want to come in. How do you tell if you're gonna gap fill? Well, if this 9 starts creeping up here, once the 9 has crossed the gap, that kind of takes out the gap now, doesn't it? So, for December, let me close some of this here so that it's easier to see. For December, my high is 617. All right, that move can happen in a day. That's what makes this kind of hard. Okay, and you have 2 huge catalysts coming up. Okay, this week you have CPI. All right, now we went through the calendar right there. It's on Wednesday. Let's double check so we don't talk a bunch of baloney, but I think it is on Wednesday. Hold on, it's on Wednesday. All right, so you have us coming in with the CPI on Wednesday. Powell said everything's looking decent. If this is in line, we rally. If this comes in at 3.2, Santa rally is on for a few days until the next big catalyst, which is not OPEX. I mean, this is they're gonna cut. So if the move is up on Wednesday on CPI, we're going higher on Thursday. That's a given. And then you chop a little bit and this and that for a few days and try not to get blown out with shitty premiums, and they do that whole jump from big boy to big boy, because then on the 18th, I believe, let's just double, it's the 18th or 19th, you get CPI, not CPI, FOMC, jeez. Yeah, it's on the 18th. So those are your 2 huge catalysts this month, and you gotta kind of stay out of the chop. Why am I saying stay out of the chop? Okay, there's a possibility now with this VIX down below 13, and I want you to pay attention here, because this is where you need to adjust a little bit. Okay, see, VIX slow bleeding all day, right? On Friday, all day. Did that help SPX at all? No. So this is not, we caught that trade right there, but it didn't go. And then this last part of the day kind of fizzled out all premiums, right? Unless you were in a Tesla swing. So with this rip into the close here, unless we gap up on Monday, then we can go higher. Otherwise, I would say you want to wait till we start hitting these targets here to buy in. And this spot is, if you're playing upside, which I am, is where you're going to want to start to swing. So for instance, you have CPI on Wednesday. For a few weeks, I've already gotten into the habit of buying Friday calls. Okay? And this is what I will be doing the next 2 weeks. And this is how I will play the Santa rally. Before these big events that are on Wednesdays, I will on Tuesday, probably Tuesday low, start buying Friday calls. That way I'll have my base, because we had a few questions in the chat this week. Why do I play multiple? Okay, why? Completely psychological, all right? And I try to get the most gains. It's always good to have a base that's juicing, okay? And then you can play upside on some zeros and this and that, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Another thing I wanted to point out that was very confusing on Friday was SPY doing this, came back down here below IB session. Meanwhile, QQQ somehow managed to be on top there of the IB session all day when tech wasn't really moving. I mean, that's why I was in Apple and Microsoft. They gave one premium pump and then they fried you. They fried your shit on Friday. Very frustrating. So look at this. You mean to tell me Apple and QQQ hitting this here and QQQ stays here all day. Meanwhile, Apple's frying my shit, right? Microsoft hits out of the gate, fries shit all day. Nvidia hits out of the gate, air fries shit all day. Okay, so who's doing this then? Until we have an answer for this, and once these kind of stabilize and start going together, the question remains, does SPY catch up with QQQ or does QQQ catch up with SPY? Because all these individuals are with SPY. What is QQQ doing here? Now you could be like, hey bro, it was Avgo. Okay, yeah, I think it's the number 11 or 12 big company. Great. Okay, am I gonna go off of that? No. Could there be some merit to it? Sure, because this thing, I called it out here and never took it and absolutely ripped. I even said it's going to 177 last week. I just didn't play this last day. SMCI, I'm glad Bill held his calls. Huge move, okay? And I wrote my thoughts about it in the chat, right? So you can check out. Okay? So anyways, and Meta obviously played a role. So the question is, which we caught twice for 200%, 207 I believe, could have been nicer. Could have held those 620s a little longer, but I had to get out, right? Anyways, what am I doing next week? I am focusing on the same stuff. Why change it up now? Plus we know how these moves. All right, so again, I got my SPY target. Okay, what is my SPY target? It's to go down to here. We might not even get that. There's no saying we undercut these lows here. Okay, I'll let you know when I start entering my trade based on the GEX, based on the weekly range, and based on the timing. I'll let you know when I start taking my longs. Why? Because last week and this week those longs paid over 300%. Remember QQQ 515s? Now yeah, I got out of them here. Could I have gotten more? Possibly a little, but you know, what if QQQ hadn't done that and had done what SPY did? I mean, I got out of my SPY longs here. They would have fried them end of day and probably not paid more here. So, you know, all about timing. That so just to make it clear to you again, what I'm doing, I'm going long early in the week, these next 2 weeks, for the upside in the money for Friday, looking for a move. A blow off top to me would be here. Anything above this is extra. Now I'm gonna reveal to you my ultimate target here. Okay, we've established that. For next year, based on all those calls that came in, this is gonna hit in the first half of the year. That number, okay? Then we see it. But short term, we need to figure out if this is what it might look like, and if we're about to absolutely rip faces here early on Monday, which kind of changes things. Okay, they are going to be as sneaky as they can. If you haven't noticed yet the last few weeks, because they jump from stock to stock here, it makes it really hard to be in swings unless you're sitting deep in the money. I mean, look at Nvidia. There's your head and shoulders, sure, but now you're wondering, is this merely a pullback and we are about to launch from here? So ultimate target on two of these big boys, that ghost candle right there, or wick, that's rather a wick for Nvidia, and the Apple obviously has the 251. all right, very interesting. I'm going off of those. Maybe Dom can put together a spreadsheet. But anyways, until I see some serious dark pool buying on Nvidia or Apple, I'm being very cautious. And if you see any ghost candles, let me know, because as you can see, Flowtrade's 15-minute is jammed on freaking October and won't update. So I'm only going off the dailies here. And as you can see, SPY still has a decent support there. You can also see they sold that QQQ dark pool. So I'd be really happy, since I'm 100% cash here, or 95, if we could come down here. This would, and if we can defend this gap or wick and come back up, what you're looking for is a quick sell, a wick, and back up. All right, and then we're gonna try to position. The key is to not go in too early, and key is to not miss the move. Now, with that said, I had posted it in the chat. It's this guy. As you can see, he can go way higher, and that RSI can go into the 70s and almost hit 80. We're at 51. And as you know, with any RSI, how do you read it? It needs to hold 50 to be in an uptrend. And the fact that they did this and they're doing this shit, are they going to send this like they've done in the past? But I know it's elevated, but still there's a setup here, even though indicators don't show it as much. I mean, the NAMO is everything for me. If the NAMO says we can fucking explode and go from 12 to 80 here, you know what I'm saying? Could get spicy. JPM, didn't do the move until it then did it end of day. Absolute fuckery, like really absolute fuckery. Still think this goes higher. Bitcoin at 100k. The VIX, now I wanted to speak about the VIX a little bit. Should it bounce? Yes, but this thing can gap up and then market stays where it is. Right now we're dealing with a gamma evaporation, Vana, etc., bull crush. So maybe we need to start looking at other culprits that could drop, that are about to drop January 20th. That's what the new treasury guy does for a living, is kill relative strength of currencies. Okay, keep that in mind. And the 10-year broke down there. If this heads to the party line, boom, there's your center rally. So there's different ways to maneuver this move. A lot of call buying. Okay, closing gigs. That there's that level we want to hit. We want to play that this week, and if it goes, it'll go much higher. We're gonna have to see how these update end of day. I mean, when they ripped that Tesla, they were selling a lot of calls on it, so I don't know, it might pop on Monday, but I wouldn't chase it. I'll post a video tomorrow in Full Moon Circle when the price distribution updates, but as you can see, a lot of pull to the upside on that CPI day, as well as FOMC. So the dealer OI kind of confirms that those two are the days and the rest is chop. So there's your dip, comes back up nicely, send it, chop, send it, maybe melt up a few more days. Okay, also shows a rally after Trump gets in. Okay, as of right now. And I've been following this whale here, and I mentioned he was selling his 610s. He started buying the dip on it, as you can see. This is the guy. We don't need that guy in there. Well, maybe we do. But yeah, the white and the green is the one I'm looking at. Sorry if this is getting long-winded right now. I'm just trying to wrap it up. Still a lot of call buying. A lot of people are early. A lot of people are already long in the money. But you know, we go week to week here on the Moon Trend because anything can happen. Anyways, guys, we'll ride again on Monday. I'll try to be on voice, open and close. I'm trying to kind of be disciplined and just focus on those 2 days per week. But I'll still be scalping Monday and Tuesday, trying to set up for it, and then find a nice long into CPI. And you know, you never know if the move is just up. It can be a drop that then they buy up. I wouldn't put it past these market makers. So anything that I play is going to I'm gonna cover my positions, right? So I'm not going full size Tuesday into it. I'm going with something on Friday. If the move is good, then I'll ride the trend after that. Okay. The hourly stow here has been killed, and if you're new, the hourly stow is really good. Obviously this oscillator is just licking the ceiling here, so I would welcome a dip. I don't know if we get dip or just time. All right, thank you.
Space Shuttle Atlantis. Mission to build, resupply, and do research. International Space Station. Begins its penultimate journey ashore on the International Space Station. Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour.
Welcome, I'm Mr. Moon Train, and this is the Moon Landing Trading Course. I'm coming at you from my garden in Hawaii. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on being here and doing something about your situation. Huge. Now listen up. This is not going to be a regular trading course, but that's why you're here. Am I right? Today, we're going to go over the 5 areas every trader needs to master and conquer in order to become successful and profitable.